Welcome to another installment of Turn Up the AC Hot Takes with Reason on a solo edition. We're just going to jump right into this one right here. Charlo versus Brian Castano. 2. Undisputed. All the belts. We get a running back. First time they fought, we had a 12-round draw. A lot of people saw it going Castano's way. There was a lot of people who saw it going Charlo's way. I personally agree with the draw. I thought both fighters hurt each other. You know what I'm saying? But before we get into all that, they just had their weigh-in. Charlo came in underneath the limit of 154. He weighed in at 152 3/4 pounds, which is well below the limit. Probably one of the lowest weights we've ever seen Charlo weigh in at, if I'm not mistaken, off the top of my head. Castano comes in at 153 3/4 pounds, so just a quarter pound underneath the limit. Charlo holds a record of 34-1-1 with 18 knockouts. That draw comes from the first Castano fight. That loss was to Tony Harrison that he avenged. Castano comes in 17 wins, no losses, and 2 draws with 12 knockouts. Man, I've been waiting for this fight. It was very exciting. They got into it at the weigh-in. Charlo made it talking about it's a turf war, U.S. versus Argentina. The Argentina fans were loud. They were rowdy. They're ready for this fight. They believe in their fighter, Castano. They believe he was robbed in that first fight. And, I mean, who am I to say that he didn't win that first fight? Because it was very close. Both guys hurt each other. Man, I'm very excited. I'm glad this fight got made. It was supposed to go down, I believe, originally in this month or it got pushed back. You know what I'm saying? So, to this point. But I'm glad it's happening now, finally. And so let's talk a little bit about what happened in that first fight. I thought Castano won a lot of rounds early. After the first 6 rounds, in my opinion, Castano had a lead. I had him up 4-2, at least 4-2. One thing I thought Castano did very well in that first fight was towards the end of the rounds, he did his best work. He would get Charlo up against the ropes, and he tagged Charlo a few times. And if Charlo didn't have such a solid for both guys, let me say that for both guys. If Charlo and Castano, if either one of them didn't have such a solid chin, one of them would have got slept in that first fight. But they ate the best shots from the other guy and kept coming, which is all you can ask for in these big fights, is that they live up. And I think this fight surpassed any expectations that anybody had in terms of action. You know what I mean? But back to what I thought Castano did well. I thought Castano, towards the end of the rounds, second half of the rounds, is when he did his best work, like I mentioned. He was throwing a lot of shots. He was landing. When he could get Charlo against the ropes and get in close in range, he was able to land and hurt Charlo a couple of times. That's where I think when you're scoring fights, it's tough sometimes, because I thought Charlo did the better work for most of the rounds in the first half, and Castano did his best work in the second half of the rounds, where he was able to, I think, steal a couple of rounds, you know what I'm saying, on scorecards. When there was a few, I forget which rounds off the top of my head. I'm just going off of memory. I just rewatched the fight a week and a half ago. But like I said, I'm going off of memory, and I thought Castano stole a couple of rounds, you know what I'm saying, like towards the end when he did his best work, despite Charlo doing some good work in the first half of the round. I think there's going to be adjustments from both guys. I could see Castano putting in work earlier in the rounds to try to, solidify the rounds, instead of having some swing, because a couple of close rounds. And when there's a close round, I mean, we're all human, you know what I'm saying? We all see a fight from what we see, but the person next to us can be seeing something different. You know what I'm saying? So I think Castano's going to try to do more work earlier in the rounds so he can try to get clear-cut rounds in the bag. But as far as Charlo was concerned, I think the biggest thing for him is just stay off the ropes. Because when they were in the middle of the ring, or anywhere but the ropes, I thought Charlo did his best work, and I thought he landed the more power shots. You know what I'm saying? The bigger scoring shots. And I think that's going to happen in this fight tonight. I really feel Charlo's going to make the better adjustments as he did with Tony Harrison in that first fight. I mean, in their rematch after he lost a controversial decision, the first time around, which I thought he beat Tony Harrison in that first fight. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is. He avenged that loss, and he knocked him out. So, he avenged that loss. I think someone's getting knocked out tonight. I don't see it going to the scorecards. Both guys are very strong fighters. Superpower in their hands. And I just think Charlo's gonna make the better adjustments and staying off the ropes. But that does not mean Castano is not going to land some shots. But, yeah, man, I think it's going to be an exciting fight. Fireworks. I think we could potentially see each of these guys go down once, because both guys are very, very, very good punchers with a lot of power. I'm excited that we're going to see another undisputed fight. We're getting a lot of good fights, especially right now, weeks in a row. Like, we just had, Canelo and Bivol. Before that, we just had Spence and Ugas. We had, Valdez and Shakur Stevenson. Next Saturday, we got David Benavidez versus David Lemieux. Right after that, we got Tank and Rolly. And then right after that, we got another undisputed fight with Devin Haney and Kambosos in Australia. So this is a great time for boxing fans. We're getting a lot of good fights. And it can only get better from there, because I just heard that potentially Jaron Ennis and Keith Thurman could be fighting next if Ennis gets past his fight tonight, which, I don't see him not, because Ennis is one of them dudes and up-and-coming guys. But back to the Castano, Charlo, I just wanted to talk, there's a lot of good fights going on, and it's about time. We waited long enough for these top fights. Jermell Charlo is giving us all the top fights. He only wants, the big names, and he's doing that. And not everyone can pick and choose who they fight, but he's doing the best he can with getting these fighters in there. He's coming off that knockout win of Rosario last year, where he, picked up 3 belts. Now he's going for that last one against Brian Castano. Very excited about this fight. I believe Charlo is going to win, because I think he's going to make the better adjustments. I got Charlo stopping Castano. We're going to go round 10. I think he stops him in round 10, secures his undisputed, and then who knows from there where he goes. Because there's everyone's gunning for him. Well, everyone's going to be gunning for whoever wins this fight, because whoever wins this fight is that dude at 154. Yeah, man, so I'm really looking forward to this fight. I hope you are too. Let me know who you think's going to win in the comments below. You got Mel Charlo or you got Brian Castano. Like, once again, I said I got Charlo winning this fight by knockout. I'm going to say round 10. So both these guys promised a great fight, and I believe that's exactly what we're going to get. Also, the co-main event is Ennis versus Clayton. So Boots is going to another opportunity to showcase his skills. And if he's able to get that Keith Thurman fight after this, that would be awesome, because Keith Thurman is still a top name, top 3, top 4 welterweight in the division. Whether we like it or not, he's still one of them dudes. So once again, I got Charlo over Castano by KO, round 10. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? And why? So until next time, this has been Reason. Turn up the AC hot takes, and we're out.